the subscribe button.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we will talk about Ibonds. As interest rates increase and the stock market falls, more and more pundits are pushing Ibonds. So let's dig into Ibonds and why it may be an option for those looking for a return on investment as the stock market falls. So what are Ibonds? Ibonds are saving bonds that earn interest based on combining a fixed rate and a variable inflation rate. To simplify, bonds are debt instruments issued by governments, corporations, and other entities to raise money. For the most part, bonds are issued and have a set period to mature. Over that time, interest is typically calculated based on the purchase value. In the case of Ibonds, the time to maturation is 30 years, unless you cash them first. As Ibonds are backed by the US government, they're essentially risk-free. In view of the effects of inflation on interest rates and the low risk, Ibonds are very attractive in high inflationary periods. For Ibonds, the interest payments increase or decrease based on the official inflation rate. So let's look at interest rates. Ibonds feature a combination of a fixed rate that stays the same for the life of the bond and a variable rate that is set twice a year. The variable inflation rate is based on changes in the non-seasonal adjusted consumer price index for all urban consumers. As far as timing, the US Treasury changes the inflation rate component of Ibonds every May and November. If you purchase a new Ibond in April or October, you will get the old rate for the first 6 months of ownership. And then in the second 6 months of ownership, you will get the rate that was announced a month after the Ibond was purchased. Once interest rates are determined, interest is earned on the bond every month. The interest is compounded semi-annually, which means twice a year. The interest the bond earns in the previous 6 months is added to the bond's principal value. Thereafter, the interest of the next 6 months is calculated using the adjusted principal. The total interest and principal are paid out when you cash the bond. So for example, in June of 2022, Ibonds currently have a fixed rate of 0%, but a variable inflation rate of about 9.6%. Ibonds are becoming popular because where else will you get such a return currently? So how do you purchase Ibonds? The two easiest ways to purchase Ibonds are via the US Treasury Direct website or via mail when you file your tax return. Electronically, the minimum that you can purchase is $25 via the US Treasury Direct website and $50 via the paper route. On the other hand, the maximum that you can purchase via the US Treasury Direct website is $10,000 total each calendar year, and $5,000 total each calendar year via the paper route. So when can you redeem your Ibonds? Ibonds earn interest for 30 years unless you cash them first. An important aspect of Ibonds is that Ibonds cannot be redeemed within 1 year after purchase. If you will need your funds in the next year, Ibonds may not be the best vehicle for you. Note that you can cash Ibonds after 1 year. However, there's a penalty. If you cash your Ibonds before 5 years, you lose the previous 3 months of interest. As an example, if you cash an Ibond after 20 months, you will only get the first 17 months of interest. So, during this inflationary period where the stock market is corrected, it is difficult to find a financial winner. To protect your portfolio against inflation, Ibonds may be a winner, at least in the short term. Ibonds are backed by the US government. As such, there is very little risk with regard to buying Ibonds. Also, the value of Ibonds do not go down. More importantly, Ibonds are currently offering over 9% return. So based on your financial position and strategy, Ibonds may be right for you. But of course, do your due diligence.
If you like this video, subscribe to the channel.